Hey y'all, hey. I am in Charlotte right now, as you can see from the change of scenery of these videos, but I wanted to make sure that I got a weekly development topic out to you guys. And so today's topic is what I see as the most pressing leadership issue of today. So stay tuned while we get into this. So at the beginning of 2018, I set a goal for myself. Or better yet, I gave this year a word, and that word was love. And I committed to myself that this year I was going to focus on love. Focus on loving my family, focus on loving my church, and focus on loving my employees. And so I really dug into this concept of love, and not romantic love and not feeling love. Not the feeling type of love, but the action type of love. And I really think that that is the most pressing issue, leadership issue of today, is that leaders, us as leaders, we have a hard time sometimes leading with heart. A lot of times when we think about leadership, we think about the tactics of it, the things that need to be done, how many people we need to hire, the training that we need to get done, and we really don't take the time to put our heart into what we are doing. And so this year I really focused on loving my employees. And that may sound a little bit odd for me to say that as a leader you should work on loving your employees, but I want to explain to you what I mean by loving your employees. So I want you to think back to the most memorable leader you had, whether it's somebody you worked for, or whether it was somebody that was a coach to you or a teacher to you. Think about the most memorable or impactful leader that you have had contact with. And I could bet that the leader that you are thinking of right now is the leader that really connected to your heart. That person is your most memorable leader. And so for me, my most memorable leader is Felicia. And Felicia was my boss when I started working for Target. And the reason why she is my most memorable leader is because as a teenager, getting into the workforce and learning how to navigate the workforce and navigate these different kinds of relationships, she really took the time to not only get me up to speed technically and make me proficient in my job, but she really took the time to make sure that she spent time with me explaining to me why things were the way they were. She spent time getting to know me as a person. She invested in me as Dana and not just me as her employee. And so I have a lot of lessons that I have taken from Felicia, where she didn't just give me the answers and tell me to go on about my way, but she really took the time to pull out of me problem solving skills, to grow me as a person. And so she is the most one of the most impactful leaders that I have ever worked for. And I could bet that the people that are the most impactful to you are those people that really, really invested in you. They really connected to you as a person. They really connected to your heart. And that is the person that had the most influence on you. And so as a leader, you really want to spend time trying to make those memorable, impactful connections with your team. And it can be really hard because our personalities don't always mesh with everybody that we are tasked with leading. But one of the things that we really need to focus on is making sure that we somehow, some way connect with the heart of that person. So that brings us back to that word love. And I'm going to give you an acronym for love. As you think about love and you think about leading your teams and loving your teams, I want you to think of listen, overcome, value, and encourage. So as you work to love the people that are on your team, you should be remembering to listen to them. We talked about managing change. We talked about developing people. We talked about managing time. And a lot of that stuff cannot be done as a leader if you don't take the time to listen. If you're going through a change, you need to have time to listen to your people and hear their hearts, hear what's important to them, hear what their challenges are, so that you can remove those obstacles, which brings us to overcome. Overcome is about really taking time to remove the obstacles. So finding out what are those pain points for your team, for your employees, for the people that you lead, and working to remove those obstacles or help them to overcome them. So many times as leaders, we take the easy way out, and when we don't get the performance that we are looking for from our team, we go straight to writing people up for performance. And while there is a place for writing people up or disciplining people, discipline should always be used as a way to overcome some obstacle that we as leaders see in their way, or that they are articulating or acting out that is in their way. And so as leaders, we should work to overcome. Before we approach our employees or the people that we lead, we should really think about, what part of this do I own? And then any part of that we own, we should make sure that we remove those things so that we overcome the barriers to that person really being a part of our team. And then the V stands for value. Each and every person on our team is valuable. There's a reason why they are on that team. Whether you hired them or not, that person has intrinsic value. There is no one on our team that is not valuable. And so we have to be sure as leaders that we find that value in each and every person on our team. Maybe they aren't the fastest person with getting things done, but maybe they have a particular eye for detail that somebody else doesn't have on their team. Maybe they're not the quickest person on the team, but maybe they have a knack for bringing the team together through conversation. Value what each person has to bring to the team as their leader. And then the E stands for encourage. And that just is what it is, making sure that we encourage people to be themselves, that we encourage people to bring their ideas forward, that we encourage people to work as part of the team, that we encourage people to really take the vision of our team and of the organization and run with it and help to bring that vision to pass. Loving your team also comes into play when we talk about conflict management. So we've talked about that already, and I really encourage you to admit what your part in the conflict is, and then to listen to the person. But in that conflict, there are some specific traits that you should be exhibiting that show that you love and you care about the people on your team. And so one of the things that I like to tell my teams, that especially my teams that have struggled with connecting with their teams and struggled with managing conflict with their teams, is that love is these things. Love is patient. It is kind. It is not envious. And we may think that we are not envious of our team members because we are the supervisors, but a lot of times there are places that we are envious of our teams, and so we have to be careful that we watch those places. Envy in leaders comes out when we say things like, I have more work to do than you. You don't understand what I'm dealing with. Those are envious terms. Those terms show that somewhere in you resent the fact that your employees don't have to deal with the things that you have to deal with. And so we have to be careful of that. Love is not boastful or proud. And so we're not raising ourselves up above our team because of a title that we have. But we are remembering that as the leader, we are there to serve them and to remove obstacles for them and to help them be successful. It does not dishonor others. And so sometimes we as leaders can find ourselves venting about people on our team to other people on our team. That's dishonoring to the person those people on our team. It's not self-seeking. I know that I've heard from employees that, managers are just about their bonus. They don't really care about me. So that is showing that you are self-seeking to your team. It's not easily angered. And so we talked about in conflict management taking that time to step away from the conflict to really collect ourselves and think about the situation that's going on. It keeps no records of wrong. And so this part can be confusing for some of our leaders, for some leaders. That does that mean that I don't correct people when they're wrong, that I don't follow corrective action processes, that I don't remember when my team members have done something wrong? And that is not what it means. What keeping no record of wrong means is that we do not continuously hold the missteps of our team over them. Do we correct the missteps? Absolutely. Are there consequences for the missteps? Absolutely. But once we have corrected that and the consequences have been applied, we move on from that thing and we allow our team members to move forward in their roles with basically a clean slate. They don't have to worry about us coming back and saying, remember last year when you, or don't forget, you better not do that because you got written up. We don't keep records of wrong as we deal with our employees from day to day. It always rejoices in the truth. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes. It always perseveres. And I can say that I have worked with some amazing business partners that have really done a great job of protecting their team, of being that umbrella over their team. As leaders, we should always be the umbrella over our team. If there is something that is wrong and it is coming from up above us, we should be the one to shield our team from that criticism, that ridicule that is coming down, and that we should filter that so that it is usable information and that they still feel like a valuable part of the team. And so leaders should love. That is how we lead with our hearts. And then the final way that we lead with our hearts is that we are good stewards over the energy and the efforts of the people that we lead. It is so easy to begin to manage people like they are robots and to really not lead them, but to manage them and see them as a commodity that helps us to get a specific task done. But that is not what good leaders do. Good leaders steward the energy and effort of the people they lead. And what that means is that good leaders make sure that when it's their employees or their team's time off, that they allow them to have that rest and that time off to recuperate and re-energize. Good leaders make sure that they aren't just giving their people busy work so that they never have any downtime, but they are really taking a look at the tasks that they are having their teams focus on and making sure that they're value add and that the energy that their people are exerting are really going to add value to the team and to the organization. Good leaders understand the value of rest. They encourage their teams to take vacation days. They encourage their teams to make sure they keep up with their annual checkups and exams with their doctors. They encourage their teams to be there for their family events because they understand that employees that are healthy, employees that are well rested, and employees that feel connected with their families are going to be much more productive when they are at work. And so that is the last thing that leading with the heart is. And so in closing, I'm going to ask you to lead with your heart. That is the most pressing leadership issue that we have today, is that we are so bogged down with the things that need to be done, the tasks that are coming, the money that needs to be made, that we lose track of connecting heart to heart with the people that we lead. And so I ask that as leaders, you really take the time to connect heart to heart. As you connect heart to heart with your employees, their productivity will go up, their trust in you will go up, their loyalty with you will go up. And not only will all those things go up, but you will grow better leaders for the next team that is to come.